Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We're going to be checking out a video titled Germany's Finance Minister Reacts to Trump's Tariffs. Tariffs seems to be the hot topic for 2025. It's quite unfortunate. Donald Trump just got into office and, it's been chaotic. It's as simple as that. It's been chaotic since day one. And there's so much things that are going on in the United States that no one really talks about the other issues simply because the tariffs are literally taken over. It's just like when he was about to leave the office, and in 2019, when no, he was leaving in 2020, but COVID-19 started in 2019, right at the end of the year, right? But in 2020, when he was about to leave, he literally was denying COVID-19, the George Floyd situation. There were so many things going on, right? Even Kobe Bryant died, right? There were so many things going on, and it just one over the other. And it's literally his first time back, and it's been tough. That's all I'm gonna say. Everybody's hating on the United States, but I just want to say that a lot of Americans do not agree with this, and even the ones who actually voted for him. I've seen so many people now who have voted for Donald Trump, who chose Donald Trump and thought he was the one who would resurrect the economy, are now speaking differently. But I genuinely believe that the signs were on the wall, and if you paid attention to the history of Donald Trump, he's a businessman. Investigate his business and see how that was going, and that will tell you how well he could handle the economy of the United States. But nonetheless, we're going to check out this video right now. You guys can let me know how y'all feel about the situation in the comment section down below, and let's see what the German finance minister has to say.
We're joined now by Germany's finance minister, Jörg Kukies. He's here in Berlin. Minister Kukies, thanks for being with us. What are you expecting to hear from President Trump
Thank you for
today?
inviting me.
Thank you. What are you expecting to hear from the president?
We've seen all the announcements that substantial tariffs will be introduced today, but we have no further information as to the specifics. I had some conversations in Washington last week and got a bit of a sense, but we're waiting for details for tonight.
Yes, I understand you met with the U.S. Treasury Secretary and U.S. Trade Representative last week, and that you emphasized there that no one would benefit from an escalating trade conflict. The U.S. president seems impervious to that argument. Do you see any room to negotiate with the Trump administration?
Well, we are working under the assumption that the announcement today will offer opportunities to negotiate, and everyone I spoke with in Washington last week said that in principle there is a willingness to continue the dialogue and to discuss. But of course, first of all, we'll have to evaluate what is announced today before starting negotiations and deciding on how to respond.
Of course. Trump's 25% tariff on foreign automobiles, however, is pretty clear already. That tariff also applies to parts, critically. That goes into effect this week. That will hit German car makers very hard. Minister Kukies, how damaging will this be to Germany's economy?
Well, it will also hit you as consumers very hard because, of course, as your report correctly illustrated, cars will get more expensive in the United States, including the cars produced by German automakers in the United States. And also, as your report said correctly, German automakers manufacture much more cars in the United States as they import from Europe. So in that sense, the disproportional effect will actually be in the United States. But of course, it will also hit the competitiveness of the exporting side, but it hits the competitiveness of the exporting sides on both sides of the Atlantic. And that's what we continue to argue and continue to say, that this is a proposal that is actually disadvantageous to both sides.
But you are Germany's finance minister. You must have played through this scenario in pretty much detail. I'm just wondering what you're anticipating in terms of damage to the German economy from these tariffs.
Well, I mean, it's obviously very difficult to quantify that, but it will be a substantial.
I have a question You know, this guy, I'm gonna actually do that research right now. What's his education level like? What was he into? He's a finance minister of Germany. Let's see his university. Georg Kukis. Let's see. What are his qualifications? University of Chicago. Chicago. Okay. I'm really surprised about that. It was University of Chicago, but whatever. Economist. So he's an economist and a politician. So if one day this guy became the president of Germany, that'd be a good thing, right? Meaning, he's qualified. I don't know if you guys get what I'm trying to say here. Is Donald Trump an economist? I don't even think he's an accountant, right? That's where I'm coming from, right? So Donald Trump wasn't even a politician before becoming president, right? That is what I'm saying. I find it really hard to understand the people who will root for Donald Trump knowing and seeing that he was never involved in politics. The people who are believing that, okay, he's going to be a great person for the economy, it doesn't make any sense because he doesn't know anything about the economy. He doesn't know anything. That's just the simple truth, right? I don't know, but I've said it and I'll say it all the time. If I'm going to the doctor, I want the doctor who is qualified, not the doctor who is my gender or the doctor who is my religion or some similarity. I want the qualified doctor, if that makes any sense. But I guess when you choose based off of appearance and similar mindset and stuff like that, I guess this is where we end up. But it's unfortunate, it's really unfortunate. And I think the entire world laughs at the United States. There are obviously a lot of people in the world who actually do think that Donald Trump is a great president. But I know majority of people laugh.
Impact, substantial adverse impact. Well, I mean, it's obviously very difficult to quantify that, but it will be a substantial impact, substantial adverse impact. But as I said, it's a substantial adverse impact for everyone affected, and that's why we are so keenly arguing to negotiate and to think about how we should go about addressing the issues that the United States government is raising in a partnership kind of negotiation where the end result could actually be a net reduction of tariffs. To us, in the document that is the basis for forming the new government, both sides actually propose a free trade area between the European Union and the United States. That takes care of all asymmetries because we would then reduce all tariffs to zero, and then there wouldn't be any discrimination by definition. So in our view, that would be the most advantageous and competitiveness enhancing measure for both sides.
Well, let's talk about where things stand right now. The EU charges 10% on U.S. car imports, whereas the U.S. tariff on EU imports was, at least previously, 2.5%. Quite a difference there. Trump's argument is essentially that this is not fair. Does he have a point?
Well, first of all, your argument is not complete because for certain types of vehicles, the United States actually charges 25% already. So, as always, if you pick out...
Hey, boy, you shiesty. Hey, you got my vote. I ain't German, but you got my vote, brother. Nah, he let him know. Hey, you ain't even got that all straightened out, fool. That ain't it. But no, for real though, I respect that. He's letting them know.
He have a point.
Well, first of all, your argument is not complete because for certain types of vehicles, the United States actually charges 25% already. As always, if you pick out individual components of the trade relationship, you will always find areas where the U.S. charges more and those where the European Union charges more. That's why I'm saying the easiest way to assure balance and fairness is if everyone goes to zero, and then we have free trade and efficiency, economies of scale. We can think about standardization and mutual market access and many other things, so that there would be a much better way to actually reduce tariffs on both sides symmetrically, rather than now competing on who charges higher tariffs in which areas.
So, do you see, with the incoming government that will have to negotiate with Trump, do you see a prospect for a free trade agreement with the United States with this Trump administration? Is that realistic?
Well, I think that is more an aspirational goal. I think at the moment, as we're seeing the direction of travel on the U.S. side is certainly higher tariffs rather than lower. But the key is to send a signal that we are willing, up to including reducing tariffs all the way to zero, to discuss all options. Of course, if it's something in between, then that's also good, as long as there's a fair and balanced solution that net decreases tariffs rather than increase them.
Minister Cookies, thank you very much for talking with us today. That was Germany's finance minister, your cookies.
Many thanks for inviting me.
I literally thought he said your cookies. That's crazy. But yeah, that's a very unique name. I've never heard of that before. But great man. Lovely speech. I love the way how he articulates himself and explains the situation. I think this is a man I would give my vote to. You guys can let me know what y'all think about him in the comment section down below. But based on all of this, man, he's absolutely right. It doesn't have to go to zero with the tariffs, but a compromise must be met where a level playing field must be created, because the up and down it's like nitpicking. You know what I mean? You're nitpicking. Oh, that one is 2%, that one is 25, or that one is 10. But all over the board, there's like a bar graph where there's one. Okay, for this type, that's much, that much, 0 for that, 30 for that. The bar graph just keeps going. So at least a level playing field for the bar graph. And whether it's 0 or 10% or whatever it is, makes a lot of sense. I definitely think that what he said was amazing. So let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching as usual. I'm out of here. Peace.